Hello, and welcome to Everyday Creation, a show about lifting our vibes for ourselves and the world. I'm Kate Jones, here to share a segment of my recent interview with self love expert Dr. Darcy Lord. In this episode, Darcy talks about how you can make your life work better when you practice self love. So, the logical question to me is, Darcy, what happens when we don't practice self love?
That's a really good question, and it's important. And it's a slippery slope of a question because our negative inner committee wants to come in all the time and tell us that we're already bad or wrong or not doing it right. So I'm going to preface the answer by going like this. We're going to start with the opposite end. What happens when we do practice self love? And again, I love your question. You didn't say when you don't love yourself. You said when you don't practice self love, because there's nobody who's totally devoid of self love. Weirdly, there's not. Even people who feel really bad about themselves. And we're also not totally like, ta da, we've made it.
Well, we have that will to survive. So,
Right.
right there, that
That's
is
right.
self love.
It's true. Even people who are saying, I never take care of myself. I don't. I go, look, you're eating something, even if you don't love the choices. You're sleeping some, even if you feel like you have total insomnia or uh, um, most of us, we're sleeping somewhere. There are those survival things. And so we can all breathe and take a breath and go, I'm already to some extent practicing self love. I'm not doing anything wrong here. Nothing bad is going on. And oh, yeah, I can increase the practice of self love. And so, to answer the question about what happens when we don't, I'm going to start with the opposite, which goes, wow, what happens when we have a big, full practice of self love? And the answer is literally your life works. And I don't mean in the airy fairy, just in the virtual spiritual realms. I mean literally. Think about stuff we actually care about, our weight and our health and our money and our businesses and our work life and the people and our relationships to all of that and our spiritual connection and how much meaning and purpose we feel. So, all the things we care about, I truly want to say, our life works to the extent that we're practicing self love. No matter where we plopped onto the planet, some people plopped in with way less habit and nesting of self love and worthiness and honoring, and some started way up the kind of path on that. But the practice goes, as I am practicing it more, my life works more. It just does. And so, what happens when we don't? Our life doesn't work in some areas, at least to the level we want them to. And even yours in my face right now, that like, ooh, it's it's kind of a squishy, hard thing to talk about. Number one, because we can feel it. We can feel the truth of it, like, oh crap, this is my doing of myself. Because at some point in our spiritual fabric of our being, we understand that we are powerful, conscious co creators of our experience and the world that we experience, literally my life and what I see that comes to me. But the piece that's wildly important is to go, the one rule, I'm going to say it, the rule of self love, the rule of self love, learning and practicing is to never, ever use it, ever to criticize or flog ourselves, ever. So, if the true answer is what happens when we don't practice self love, is my life just doesn't work at all to the extent that it could. And if I go, so you're telling me that it's my fault, and I'm not using the word fault, but I am saying it's our responsibility. It is our delicious, empowered responsibility to go. If there's any of those things, health, wealth, love, perfect self-expression, and then the added time, spiritual connection, if there's any of those that I want bigger and juicier and better, I'm telling you truly that the first job is to practice self love, because that's what's going to hatch the deservability that lets us do what so many of us are trying to do, which is to go, let's love our life enough to help uplift the entire consciousness of the planet. But if I don't practice caring about myself, and again, it's a practice and it's a choice, I could already love myself a lot, and I could already love myself hardly any at all. And anywhere on that spectrum, what happens when I start practicing intentionally baby action steps, my life just gets better and better.
Yes. And we are so powerful that if we tell ourselves, I'm so this or I'm so that in a derogatory
Yes.
manner, then okay, whatever, the body will conform to what you say, or your mind will conform to what you say, or whatever, the circumstances will conform to it
Yeah.
because we are
Yes.
that powerful.
Oh my gosh, bless you for saying that. And all three of those things, literally, the body starts to believe it, the brain starts to believe it, and then we attract in the circumstances that match our beliefs. That's what's
Because
so
we're
juicy.
magnets.
We we are, we're big fat magnets for exactly what, and whether I believe that I'm a lowly worm or whether I believe I'm infinitely worthy of love and light, because that's what I am, we literally attract back to us everything that matches the belief systems.
Yes.
That's why it matters so much that we care about how we feel, because how I'm feeling is going to let me know what beliefs I'm having right now.
Darcy is the author of 52 Weeks of Relief and the upcoming Self Love is Your Path. To learn more, visit drdarcylord.com or listen to the full episode in your favorite podcast directory or on YouTube. This is Kate Jones, asking you to share this episode with anyone who wants to have a happier life. Until next time, thank you for listening to Everyday Creation.